Okay, so I was enabling my. I was enabling my phone so that I can be able to show where we are. So this is what we created. And the way we created it is such that we want it to be such that users can now click on enter details. So when they click on enter details, then it should be able to call the we should be able to call the display the method should be able to call the one that is asking you to input details. So it should, when you say enter, and when you click on enter details, it should take you now to the form. That's what we want. So at this stage, this is where we are. So we want to go ahead and now code. So we have coded we now want to go ahead and code the events for this button. So I would request that now we go back to our codes. Let us do that. So let us go to that and back to our codes. So this is supposed to be on the on create, and in the on create is where I want us to change a bit. So button. So we are designing, we have the button that is BTN. We have the button that is BTN. Then we say find view by ID, r.id. The button we want is the one for, sorry, the button that we want here is, if you look at our welcome screen, this is a button welcome screen. We had button enter. So that is the one we want to program, the button enter, because this is the one that will allow you to enter the data. So back there, button enter. So dot, we have button enter, that one. Then we also need one for the other button, which is supposed to be the one listing. So button, we can call it, let us give the meaningful name, button enter. And then this one, we call it BTN list. It's supposed to list. Then we say find view by ID, r.id. Now this is supposed to list, BTN list. Is it called BTN list? Let me check. We call it button list. We call it button list. It's button list, not BTN. So it's button list. Button list, this one. The next one is button BTN delete equals to find view by ID, r.id. This is supposed to be button delete, semicolon. Now, so the next one is that what we want is, in the next part, is now to handle the event. We need to handle the event that is generated when the user clicks when the user clicks enter data. So when a user clicks enter data button, we need a way of handling that event, handling the event that is generated by that. So here is the idea. If you look at our welcome screen, we have the button that we said is on the design. This is the button we are saying. When a user clicks this, we want now to write code that will handle that kind of event. So therefore, we'll have btn enter dot, we call set on click listener new view on click listener. Then we open, so we open it. On click listener, then we open it. So then we need public void on click view. We can call it V as the name of the object. Then we have the body. So in the body here, we call display. So we call a method that we write called display enter data screen. So what is this? This is what we are going to. So this should give you an error because we have not written a method called display enter data screen, and that marks the end of that section. So that should give you an error, which is okay. Then we also need one. So after that one, we also need one that handles, that helps in handling. So we need a, so we need an event. We need to handle the event generated when the user clicks. So in this case, when the user clicks list records. When the user clicks list records, we also want that event to be handled. So we'll just do the same as we have done with that other one. So what we need to say is btn list dot, we call set on click listener view dot on click listener, right? Then enter. Then we have the body of it. So here we have public on click listener view v. Then we open it up, and then we have here we call display. So this is another method we are going to write later, list screen. Semicolon. So those are two errors that you should have, which is okay.
So can you just wait? We type the code.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Nice. So the next portion, we also do the same for the button. We want also to do the same for the button delete. So btn delete dot set on click reasoner, new view dot on click reasoner. Then public, we open it up. Public void on click reasoner view v. Then the body here, we need to call one for method called delete records. And because we have not written that method called delete records, then we expect to have an error. So you have an error here, and that's okay. Okay, so now remember, because there are some methods that exist in the DB helper, there are some methods that exist here that we'll need to call. So we will need an object of DB helper. We'll need to create an object of DB helper. So in our code, we already had said in the welcome part, we had already said that we want to create. Oh, so we had declared, had we? No, we had not. Let us do this then. We had not declared it. So I want us to go at the top here and we declare an object of type DB helper. So let us start from there. So it's private. It's private database helper is an object of that type, and we call it DB helper. So this object is the one that we want to use. This is the object we have created at the class level. So it's an instant variable. So then we come here now, just after the last event, we call DB helper. We can dot, now we initialize it. New DB helper is equals to, sorry, new database helper. This one takes no parameter, it takes only context to this. So it's for this class. So that's okay. Now, I want you to do this fast so that we deal with the first problem. I want you to comment this code, the display screen right, and also you comment the delete one. So comment, just be left with the one for display enter data screen so that we program that And then these other ones, just comment them for now. We're going to work on that just in a few. Okay. Now, assuming that you're on that, so now we want to write the method that is supposed to implement this. You see, this is the idea. If you go in here, it tells you create a method display screen. So you just create it and you put it in welcome. So like this. So it's easier. It generates the code for you, though you can still write the whole of this. So then I'm the kind of a person who writes method like that. I like saying it like that. So then we want now to start the activity. Which activity do we want to start? You see, my code has no errors now. What I want to start the activity that is supposed to initiate the one for the data input. So I want it to call the data input. That's what I want. So we have start activity into bracket new. It's an intent. Remember we did the intent. So it's an intent to this, comma, and then this one you need to import it, which is okay. I'll enter. So this, and then this should be now, you call the data input dot class. So that's semicolon now. So when you run now this code, up to where we are, if you run this code now, this is what you get. So if I say enter details, I get this form. So now I can go ahead and enter details. Date of birth, email, and then select whatever I am. And then I agree with the terms, and then next, and then save details. So you can see what I mean, that here now enter details now calls the intent that is supposed to be the data input. Okay, nice. Tell me whether you're making progress or joking around. Muhaki.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. Dorcas,
Yes, sir.
are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mariam.
Yes.
Ah, nice, nice. And Bilal. Bilal, are you okay? Or you left the Nini? Bilal decided to leave the Nini there. So now you can see, we just need to do that. So for the next one that is supposed to display, so the one we have programmed is the display enter data screen. Now I want you to go to the one for display wrist screen, this one here. So you can uncomment it. And then we come here, we program it. So let us program it. So you just need to, if you click on it, it gives you an idea. You can click here and say, create a method. And then you say, create it in welcome. So here, so you will have it done. This is the example. So now inside here, we can do more with it. Display list screen. So we need to start the activity. So start activity, new intent, into brackets. Then this is supposed to be this, comma. Then we specify that we want this one to call the method, to call the class. Notice, we want this one to call the class that is supposed now to help us list the details. Yeah, we want this one to help us call the method that is supposed to help us list the details. So as you can see, we have not designed that. We have not designed the list details method. So what we will need is this list details is a method dot class. But we don't have list details already. We don't have it. So because we don't have it, first, let us comment this one. So that would mean you still will not have code. Your code will not have the errors. But what we want now is to go ahead and build this class here. So it looks like we are all set for that. So now we want to write the one for listing the details. And that's what we want to do, list the details. So let us implement it. So what you do is just come at this level, you right click, you're adding a new activity, you say new, you say activity, and it's an empty activity. Then this activity here, we want to call it list details. Supposed to be called list details as we have saved it. Now, list details has activity list. Let us just call it a more meaningful name like list screen. Yeah, maybe list screen. I see that as being better so that it is a list. So it's not a launcher activity. So you just say generate a layout called activity underscore list underscore screen. And then you say finish. So if you look at it, we have now the method list details and its equivalent and its layout. So we can go back to our welcome and we uncomment this. So because the list details now exist, actually this is supposed to be capital, L is capital. So because we already have list details now, that should work comfortably now. Dot class. Your code should not have errors. See, when I run it, now when I say list records, it should call that method, but because we have not programmed it anything, so there's nothing that happens. List records is called, but we have not done anything, not like the input form which we already have. So list records has nothing. So we need to think enter details has that, list records has nothing. So we need to program the list records.
Excuse me, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it a launcher activity? Do we take launcher activity?
No, it's not a launcher. Launcher is only the welcome. Welcome is the one that we made launcher. The only launcher activity is the main one, not the mini. Is the welcome, not the welcome is the only one that is launcher. The rest are not. So this method list details has the ability to access the database. In other words, we wanted to access our database helper. Remember, our database helper is where a lot of data manipulations happen. So we wanted to access it. For it to access it, the list details must have an object of type database helper. So we will need that, just like we did, we create an instance class. So private database helper, and then we say DB helper, like that. So that is our object. It's called DB helper, which you can use now to invoke the rest. Now, so we would want that in here, when a user now, we would want to create an object. So we have defined it. Now within the on create, we want to create to invoke, to create an, this is, we have just declared. Now we call the constructor, or we even define it, DB helper equals to new database helper. Remember, we have to use, this is within this context, so this. And now we use, so that is an object. Then we want to call a method that will help us display the details. So we can just call it display data, like that. So this will give you an error and you will need to create it. So you create a method display data in list details. So like that. So this is the method we want now to program. because we want to retrieve all the records that the user has kept, all the details that the user has kept there. So we will use the Casa object. Casa object used in data gathering is that in retrieving details is that you can use it as an object to go through the records, listing what you have. So what you want is, we can call it Casa, and it gives the object we want to create is result equals to, we call, so Casa will ask you for library. So just press Alt Enter. So results is equals to DB helper dot. Now we are calling the method get all records. Get all records. And that will give you an error because we don't have a method called get all records. We have not written the method called get all records so far. We have not implemented it yet. So we go ahead and implement it. Right? As you have seen, the way we are doing is that now we need to implement the method called get all details. Get all records. So to remove this, to correct this error, then I need you to go to database helper and we define that method. So just at the bottom here now, we create another method called get, we create that method. So we're here, it gives you that error. I don't know whether that gives you that. Yeah, create that method in that. So, and here it is. Get all records. So you will get an error because this one is supposed to return a Casa object. So we need a return statement. So once we write return database dot query, so the query is supposed to be executing detail from the table details, comma. The first parameter we can pass null. Then we can also pass null. That means that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Null. And then comma, we pass name, order by name. So the details will be ordered based on the name.
Hello, sir. Can you just wait to type it?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes, so can you scroll up a bit? So you can continue.
Okay. So we go back to the list details, and you can see the error goes. Hello. Okay. So now, we want to, so that error is solved. The error where we have the issue is that we have now, we want to get all the details. So we have that part is done very well. So we go ahead and now we want to show. So we have read, we have said, get all the records. Yes, 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 get all the records. So that is supposed to help us retrieve all the records. Then once we have the details now, we can go ahead and implement here string column names. We are calling it column names. We want to read them. So the way it's supposed to be read is that we retrieve, we want to display them. So name, comma, DOB, comma, email. So we want to read, these are the column names. So we have declared that column name is a string that contains all that. So then we need to go ahead and create a variable that will now be able to get the text view in our layout. So Yani, we need this to be displayed in the layout. So I need you to go to the layout. So this is the layout. This is, sorry, the layout is this one. Activity list. This is the file. So I want you to go to the codes, and we add so the way we want this list view to be stored, this one, I want you to add an extra control for the layout. So here we need to say to specify the gravity. So Android full colon gravity. Equals to, for the gravity, I want it to be center horizontal. Center horizontal. That is to say that they'll be kept on the center and then horizontal. So go back to the design. So code, go back to the design, and let us change this design from gravity, from constraint to linear layout. So change this, convert view to linear layout. And then you say apply. So linear layout. So I want you to add a text view. Drag it and add it. So on the text view, I want you to type here, type the text, the text view. I want us to save it as being a, so the name for this should be text. We want it to be text view one. Let's just call it text view one. This control, the one we have just added, the linear, you have added the, no, we have not added a text view. I've said we add a text view. And this is the text view that I'm saying we call it text view one. And then you can say refactor. So on the text view, so what we want is, so that is text view one. Let us change, the width is wrap content and the height is wrap content. That is to be basically the amount of content that is there. No, let us have the width being match parent. And then height is the one that is wrap content. Then on the text appearance, yes.
It's saying text view one already exists.
It cannot exist because this is the only one that you have, unless you just check here and see whether you have any other, you delete it. Text in this layout, in this Nini, there is no any other. We only have one. So you just check how many you have. It's only one. So on the text appearance, select medium. higher. So then what I want is that here, I'll say text appearance, put it as medium, so that the size of the text is medium. Yeah.
So
Then
it's wrap content.
the nini is the width is much better. Then now I want you to go to the text, and then we change. You press string value. So what we want is to add an item here. So the way we will program it is supposed to say list records underscore labels underscore label, and the value is supposed to be list records. Then you say okay. You say okay. So if you go to the codes, here it will say, because you already had added text as being this, so we remove this. The one that says text view, we remove that. And here we add Android. So Android like that. So that in the design now, it has that.
So kindly go back a minute to the code part.
Which code? Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, please scroll up.
Can continue.
Yes, you okay?
Yes.
So that is okay. So now we need now to go ahead, and so we have added that. So let us go to our we are still in our layout. We are still in our layout screen. So we have added that text view. I want us to add another one. So in the design, add a list view. It's under list view is a container, so it's under widgets. Is it list view layout? List view is under this one. Drag it and add it. Is under legacy. That means items that have been there and maybe still important, but so the ID for it, let us call it list. Done.
Yes.
Nice, nice, nice. So we go to the next level. So the next one, what we need is on the list, on the list view. On the list view, this list view that we have added, we have said we call it list. Then I want you the width for it. Let it be match parent, but the height, let it be wrap content. So now, Sorry, I've said you add a list record row. The tag is linear layout, and then you say finish. How come that you're not telling me I was muted? So then you say finish.
So can you please repeat what you just did?
I've said linear layout. You
No,
right click
there was some code you did.
the code at list details, this one.
Yes, yes. We want the code, and then you.
So I want us to tie.
Yes, over here. Yes.
Yeah, I want us to tie the simple cursor adapter so that now we have a layout that provides the way the records will be written. So the records specifications of the way they will be written will be stored in this list record row. So that's why I'm saying you create a linear layout like what I have here. This one, list record row.
Sorry, sir. You go to layout and you click new layout file.
Yeah, you are saying.
Okay, can you just create it to yes?
You say new. You say layout is an XML file and is a layout XML file.
Oh, new XML. Okay. So what are the credentials you have to put? It should be layout file name is
list record row. This one.
list records row, and the root tag
is linear layout. Yeah. So when you go now to the design, I want first the orientation. Change the orientation so that it is, want the orientation for it to be vertical.
So in the code, did you put a list record row?
In the code, what do you mean in the code? So this is just the name.
You had
Here. I've not done anything there. Where I am is I'm now at the list record row. The moment you do that, this is what you have. So then on the design, you see you have a linear layout. I want you to add another container, which is a linear layout, another linear layout. linear layout. You add it, that is supposed to be linear layout. That is, I think we can add it as being, so the first one was, we can add it as being horizontal. Yes, horizontal. So the first one we added was vertical. Now we add another one that is horizontal. So drag this, add it here. So the first one, the first linear layout, its ID. Let us call it linear layout 1. Let us call it linear layout 1. No. Let us just call it linear layout. We call it linear layout. Then this one, we call it linear layout 1, the second one. So this is the one that is horizontal, the linear layout 1. So this linear layout 1, we make the height to be, the height we want it to be wrap content, not much parent, but wrap content. And then the width, we make it match parent. So that's okay, still match parent, which is good. So I've said wrap content match parent. And then we add now, within here, I want us to add some text view. So click add a text view. Just call it text view. The ID for it, just call it text view. Says the text view already exists. Text view 1 already exists where? Do this, call it with the capital then. Let us call it with capital letter. So instead of saying that, let us put it as text view. Like that. Capital. No. No, I made a bit of a mistake. What I want is, sorry. So let us change this ID so that it is a better name. This is text name, because we want the name to be stored there, right? And then I have said that for this, you make sure that you have wrap content for both the width and the height. And then the appearance of the text, we make it medium. Text appearance should be medium. And then the text that we wanted to appear for now, the text that it has can be text view. This is okay. And then the layout weight, this one weight, let us use a value like 80. Weight, this weight, make it at a value like 80. So if you go to the code, it's 80 like this. And then design again. I want you to add another text view. Then on the text view, I want you to, the name for it, the one that you have just added, let the name be the date of birth. So we type it as text. So the name is text BOB. And refactor. Then the appearance of the text in here, make it medium as well. Text appearance. Make it medium. So the text for it can be text view, which is okay. The text can be text view, which is still okay. So now get out of this text view. Get out of that this linear layout, and we add at the level of at just below it, we add another just outside the linear layout, we add another text view. So add a text view just outside. Not should be outside of the linear layout. Let me see. Yeah, should be outside like this. So the linear layout that is inside, now that should be there. So it should be outside. Then this text view that you've just added, these are its properties. The ID is where the email will go. So text, email, text, email, Then the wrap content for all the width and the height. So make sure that the width and the height is wrap content. Then the size of the text, medium. So I think that is okay. So that has provided us with all the details we need for this one. So this is the way the layout will look like. So now back to our list details, which has an error. Now we want to correct that. So we want the layout to be read from this file.
Excuse me, sir.
So, yes.
My connection got lost.
Mhm.
So I just want to see what you did when you created the text view in list record row.
So here.
In the XML file in the design, I was at the point where you put the first text view. So,
the first one is this one, the second one is that.
Okay.
And then outside the linear layout, then I have another one that is outside.
Okay. Can you just leave it for 1 second? Can you just hold on for 1 second? I type that.
Yeah.
Can you just hold on for a minute over here on this XML file?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you,
yes,
sir.
tell me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So now I've said we come back here. So we created an array that stores the name and the DOB and the email. And then we create another one, int display names is an array. Display names equals to, now this one is supposed to read from what we have, r.id dot, we want to get text name, this one here, comma, then the next one is r.id dot text date of birth, comma, r.id dot is supposed to be the email, text email. There. So then we specify this dot route dot list. Now we are saying we wanted to list a record row. That's where the details about the way it should be, comma. That's where we want the values to be read. Then it's supposed to show the results, comma, column names. I wanted, because there are a number of them, let it be column names. Column names, comma, column names, and then display names, comma. Then we are using Casa adapter, the one we have defined, Casa adapter. Casa adapter, flag content observer. So we end that. So I can break this so that people can be able to see it. That's the way the code looks like. Now, we then say set a list adapter, and the values we want them to be there is records, semicolon. Now, 1 minute, please. So that is okay. Now I want us to change something. You see, the reason why we are getting list adopter error is because we are extending app compact activity. I want us to change this so that we don't extend that. We extend list activity. This one. We extend list activity. And if it asks, you import that class of list activity. So you need to import list activity. So that then this one will not give you an error. Now, we want this to view to also have a menu. So we want it to have a menu such that a user can, there is a menu items on this page of list view. Okay, so we go back here, and what I want is on your menu. So there is only one menu item called data input. I want us to create another menu item. We call it list menu. So come here, you right click, you say new. Is a menu file, is a menu file, and you are calling it list underscore menu. So the root element is menu, it's there, then you say okay. Then I want you to add one item and drag it. So once you select it, on the codes, if you look at what we have is we don't have the ID for it. So we need an ID. So the ID, call it item home. ID, call it item home. And then on the title, instead of it being here, I want you to go to the ellipsis. And whatever you are adding here, you say string value, the resource name, let it be home underscore command variable. And then the value, resource value home. And then you say, okay, okay.
Sir, can you just slow down for 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mhm. So now, if you check the code, we have item name, and we have home command label and the ID for it. That's okay. So now we can code it in our, so we can invoke it in our list data, in our list details file. So we can now invoke it. Remember, we have just designed the menu, but we have not populated it. So we need public void on create options menu. So this one, so I was saying we need to call the super constructor. And then we have the menu inflator. Menu inflator equals to get menu inflator. So this one here, Alt enter. Then now we call the inflator to inflate, and the menu for it is r dot menu dot. The menu for this is supposed to come to menu from the menu list, comma menu, semicolon. Then this one should return true. Then we should have now the next one that processes the selection. So public void public boolean. We need on option item selected. This one here. So here we want to just have a case where we find what menu item was selected. What was selected? So we have switch item dot we get the ID then we have case r.id dot item home. We entered item home. So here we can simulate the back button. So what we do is just call super.on back pressed. Then we say return true. So then we have the default one. Return super dot on option item selected item. Semicolon. Now, so if you run this app now,
So just 1 second, finish typing.
this is repeated, so which we don't need.
So can you go back to the switch statement? Sir, right at the bottom, just the last piece of code.
So you change the
For me, in the menu, in the welcome screen, when I click on list records, the app is crashing.
yeah, we want to check where the problem is. But so we wanted to invoke the list details.class.
Sir, just 1 second. We finished typing the last piece of code.
On the
Yes, sir, this one. Just 1 second. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to see what the challenge is with the list screen. I don't need this.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
In welcome.java, should we uncomment the function for display list screen? Because you commented list details.class.
But you're saying on number?
Yeah, okay. So we get rid of the comments now, yeah? Before you
On
add,
you're saying on?
yes, here start activity list details.class. We can uncomment it now.
This
It was
details, yeah, this detail is uncommented. Is uncommented in my case, yes.
Okay.
So any other error? Are you able to know any other error? We are checking where the error is, because there's one error that I'm trying to see where might that have come from. The one for reading those values. I'm trying to see where is that error in.
So if you go to btn enter and btn list dot set on click listener.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were commented before. Now you've uncommented them.
Yeah.
btn enter dot set on click listener.
Mhm.
Yeah, now you've uncommented these as well. They were commented before.
So I'm looking for the error that is coming up is a logical error. Is an error that is coming in because of some logic error, and that's why it's a bit tricky to sort it out very fast. Yes, yes. Have we in the yes? Are we calling a method called the delete all record somewhere? No, no, no. What we have is I wanted us to have a method on database query. Yes. So here we have details, and then yeah, there's something missing here. Order by name. It should be details is what you want to read. I'm talking about get all records method. Get all records. Is that method? Yeah, it's okay. Sorry. Get all records method should return database.query. The table we have null. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then name. Yeah, this is okay. So we read that. And this get all records is being called in the list details. When I use the clicks there, please see here, they should have display details is called, and then get all the records. Yes. There's something maybe I'm missing, but let me just check again. Because even mine has a problem with crashing. So I've said I have display data, and display data is the one that I want invoked here. So database helper this. List screen, that is okay, save the instance state. And it's a list activity, that's okay. Public class, list activity extends that. Yes.
There might be a problem in the activity list screen
Where is that?
because we have a text view and the text view,
Activity list screen. You talk about activity list screen, yes.
because on the text we named it as a list records label. The text for the text view.
The text is just reading it. The text, can it be a problem?
Because it was in the string, yeah, so we deleted one of them.
If you the string file, you talk about list. You talk about this list record label.
Yes.
If you go
Because
to the string,
there were two of
list,
them, then we removed one of them.
so is there one that we call list of records title? Do you have one that we call let me check. Could be a problem that I need to check again, which is so if I look at the list record row, list menu, list screen here. I have a string title should come from the home list screen record. List. This is activity list menu, which has a menu. Menu. I'm talking about this, sorry. List menu. Supposed to have home command label, which is okay. Item home. In Isawa. What is the other one? What is the other one that we wrote? The one for
Right in the welcome screen XML file.
in the welcome string XML. Yes, you're saying that we have
Code, there is list records label. So there are two of them.
welcome screen.
Yeah, list record, yeah, that one.
So you're saying that we have
Two list records label, and in the string there is only one.
but that let us see. I want to see something else, but that should not be the error. But let me see. You're saying that this is the welcome is reading from a screen welcome. So you're saying that list welcome, which is what we are looking at, string yours is string welcome, yeah, welcome screen. Welcome screen has what? Has that, let me see, has that text view. Where is that message of the one that you're saying? The one that exists in the string. Which one are you saying?
On the welcome screen, the list records one.
Welcome screen, the list. Number what? Under which control?
It's a button after the enter button. Yeah.
After the
Down.
enter button. This one.
Down,
This
down,
one here.
Down, yeah, this one, yeah. The
List
list records
records.
one. The list records
So
one. Yeah.
So this should be list records label, and list records label is in the string file. So list record label, this is okay, right? So the other one you're saying we have it as well. Yonisawa, that one we can use. Do we have anything like list of records title?
So there's another error. If you go to list details.java,
list details.java.
yes, and then we said extends list activity.
We say?
It's list details extends list activity.
Here?
Extends.
Yes. See, list details extends. See, that's okay. List activity.
Yeah, so it's saying list activity is deprecated.
No, I think for this that is hiyo sioni kama is the error. This is list details. That one, I don't see it as an error because is it an error or a warning?
It's in the build. When you build it, it
Mm.
comes at the bottom, that list activity. If you go right to the top of the file, of the file. If you go right to the top.
What do you mean at the top? I'm on the top now, under file.
No, where there's imported everything.
Where?
Import,
Where there is imported. Here. Mine is not a problem.
Yes. See, it says here app compact activity. Is that okay?
Mine is okay.
Okay. All right.
Mine is okay. Unless you are saying that there's something around this. As I try to solve that problem, let me try and rebuild it. So I think what we do is that because it looks like the challenge of that portion, we need to look at it. Let us write code for the delete one. Let us implement the delete one. Then we see what could have happened. Let us write the one for delete. Let us write the one for delete. The other one I'll continue trying to solve it and see. So I want you to go to the one on the database helper. And then we add code for deleting it. So we add public void delete all details. Delete all records. And then we say database dot delete. Then what we wanted to delete is the details, comma, we pass null, where enemy is null. So then we now can go to the welcome screen, the .java. And now we program the one for implementing the deleting. So private void delete records. So here you want to create and display the alert dialog. So we ask the user new alert dialog.builder. Then we pass this. So you may need to import this. Then dot. We set the message. So the message you want should be, do you want to delete? Do you really want to delete all records? Question mark. Then dot. We set negative button. So here, no, comma, new dialog interface dot on click listener, open. open, public void on click into bracket, dialog interface, comma, into which then you open it up. Then here, do nothing. If a user says no, this one will just cross when clicked. Then here, dot, a positive button. Yes, comma. Then we have new dialog on click reasoner. Then we have that. Public void dialog interface dialog into which so then we call db dot is db helper dot the method that now we want is delete all records. Then we have pop-up toast. A message that tells all records deleted, semicolon. So we need this method, and we need here to add dot show. So we need this method. So it's supposed to be within there. So string message and then like we did, we just have a toast make message this comma message toast length, you can use wrong dot show. So I want you to try this one now, and you see whether when we want to show that when we want to delete the records, it works. So we have not invoked it, have we? Have we invoked the? We have not invoked it. Yes, we need to invoke. We have not invoked the one for delete records. Have we? Yeah, we have the delete records. What we don't have is, let me see.
So can you just leave the code for 1 second at the bottom part? Yeah, right at the bottom. Thank you.
The one on, are you saying the button delete atupi program, button delete to my program? Because that's what I want to see first. Button delete, oh, we have not called it. This is where we need to invoke it, delete records. This one. We had commented it, delete records. Now we have defined the delete records method. So the delete record is defined. So btn.select on click. So that's okay. Then we have that. And that's okay.
So just the bottom of the code, the last part. Yes, just this last part. Thank you. Just 1 second.
Yeah, then it will ask you whether you want to delete all the records. Yeah, so that works.
Thank you, sir.
So when you run it now, so when you run the app, I think to show, let me just reconnect again. So now sharing the screen. So when you enter the details, you select the date of birth, you enter the email, and then you say that, and you agree the terms, and you save. So you can see that is now one record has been saved, right? So if I add another record, so date of birth, I say email is search dot maybe something like that dot ac dot ke, and then I have that, and then I say next. So I save. So 2 records have been saved. So if I go to delete all the records, then this is what I do. Want to really delete all the records. If I say yes, then all the records have been deleted. So it should be such that when I come here now and I enter a new record, it should be the only one, Yani. Should be the only one. When I click here and I say yes, then I should have one record, save one record, which means it has already succeeded in deleting. So this one is working, the delete one is working. The list one is not working, is the one that is failing. And also the one on Nini, the one on input is also working. Enter data is also working. So enter data is working. So the one that we have a problem with is the list records. And that's something I want to look at. So in the meantime, so that is the idea of, so this record is what I want to check, and I'm going to do that just now. What I want you guys to do is that now we have done a bit of work around storage, and you can see how it's possible for you to save data, even input. So you, on the coursework, you should be able now to work out that portion of that part. So as I want you to spend the rest, there are 1 hour left. I want you to spend it looking at the question that is asked on the coursework, and let me see what solution, your idea of the way you want to approach it. So I'm giving you that time. So by then, I'll only consider that you are in this class if and only if you will show me that you have achieved something on that. What you have achieved. And I mean, whether you're the solution, then your idea of how to solve the problem. That's what I want to see. Your suggestion of how you want to solve the problem. That's what I want to see.